Welcome to Vanished, Stories of the Disappeared, where the shadows of history speak. Throughout this series, we'll explore vanishings that have left behind questions, suspicions, and whispers of possibilities. Together, we'll uncover the details, theories, and emotions surrounding these cases. This is episode 1 of a 15-part journey. In each episode, we'll bring to life a different mystery of the vanished. From eerie maritime disappearances to family tragedies that leave more questions than answers, we'll shine a light on the unknown. We'll cover cases like the Sodder children's disappearance, the enigma of the Mary Celeste, and other mysteries that have baffled historians and investigators for decades. What makes this series unique is you. Your ideas, theories, and insights are part of the story we're uncovering. As you watch, I invite you to join the conversation and share your thoughts. Today, we're diving into a story that has haunted me for years. The disappearance of the Sodder children. Imagine this. It's Christmas Eve, 1945. A home is filled with love, laughter, and the anticipation of morning gifts. Then, in the dead of night, it all vanishes, swallowed by flames and a mystery that's never been solved. This isn't just a tragic story. It's a puzzle with clues that lead us to more questions than answers. Who were the Sodder children, and what really happened to them that fateful night? Now, let's unravel the mystery of the Sodder children together. Welcome to Vanished, Stories of the Disappeared. Let's start with the Sodder family. George and Jennie were Italian immigrants who worked hard to build a life in Fayetteville, West Virginia. George ran a trucking business, and Jennie managed their bustling household of 10 children. By all accounts, they were well liked in their community, and their home was always filled with warmth and activity. But beneath this picture-perfect life were tensions. George was a vocal critic of Mussolini and fascist Italy. His political views were controversial, and in a small town with many Italian immigrants, this created friction. Did this tension play a role in what would happen that Christmas Eve? The night of the fire. It began with a noise, a strange thud followed by a rolling sound on the roof. Jennie thought little of it and returned to bed. But soon after, the smell of smoke filled the air. By the time she woke George, the house was already engulfed in flames. George and Jennie managed to get 4 of their children out, but 5 were trapped upstairs. Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jennie Jr., and Betty. Desperate to save them, George tried everything. But the ladder he always kept by the house was missing. His trucks wouldn't start, even though they'd worked perfectly the day before. By dawn, their home was nothing but ash. But as the ruins cooled, an unsettling realization emerged. There were no remains, no bones, no teeth. Nothing to suggest the children had perished in the fire. The investigation begins. When authorities arrived, the investigation was shockingly brief. The fire chief concluded the blaze was caused by faulty wiring, but there were problems with this explanation. For one, the Christmas lights had been on during the fire, suggesting the wiring was still functional. And worse, no real effort was made to search for remains. Jennie was determined to find answers. She conducted her own experiments, burning animal bones in her stove to test the chief's theory. Even at extreme temperatures, the bones didn't disintegrate. She knew her children hadn't been lost to the flames. Unexplained clues. As the Sodders began piecing together what happened, strange clues emerged. The family's phone line hadn't burned. It had been cut. The ladder George used for emergencies was found tossed in a nearby ditch. And neighbors reported seeing a man stealing a block and tackle system near the property that night. Witnesses also claimed they saw the Sodder children alive that night, peering out of a car driving away from the house. Each detail raised more questions. Had the fire been set to cover up a kidnapping? Theories and suspicions. Theory 1. George's political views. Let's explore the theories. One suggests the fire was a tragic accident. But if so, how do we explain the cut phone line, the missing ladder, and the failure of George's trucks? These oddities point to something far more sinister. George was outspoken against Mussolini, a stance that made him enemies in the Italian-American community. Could someone have targeted his family to silence him or send a message? Theory 2. Organized crime. Some believe the Sodder children were taken by organized crime. Kidnapping and trafficking were not uncommon, and the fire may have been a distraction to mask their abduction. Theory 3. Arson. Covering up kidnapping. Could the fire have been set intentionally to cover up the kidnapping? Witness reports of a car leaving the scene suggest this is possible. Theory 4. A family betrayal. Theories even point to betrayal from within the family's circle. Did someone close to the Sodders know more than they let on? The family's fight for answers. George and Jennie never stopped searching for their children. George erected a massive billboard along Route 16, pleading for information. Jennie followed every lead, no matter how faint. Their determination was unshakable, but the answers they sought never came. The mystery of the Sodder children endures. Were they taken? Did they perish in the fire? Or is the truth buried beneath layers of silence and unanswered questions? What do you think happened that Christmas night? Share your theories below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Before you go, don't forget to like this video if you found it intriguing, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into unsolved mysteries, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Your support helps us uncover even more stories like this one.